Let's see how this works. Yeah, that should be a So I'm starting up the stream again. Kind of low key. I don't know how much narration I'm actually going to do. Just kind of chilling out. Just keep hacking a bit on Picadon for a bit, I think. Even Universe. Anybody wanders by, I'll probably engage and talk a little bit. Probably going to be kind of a boring stream if I don't talk much, but yeah, I haven't tried it this way before, so I guess we'll see. And I'll watch it later to see what I think of it. This is probably going to be a very boring stream. But let's see. Let's see if anyone shows up. How's my music sounding? Okay, maybe I should get down to the actual hacking. See if anybody actually enjoys this. Kind of chill and hack on this thing. So the thing I want to add now, I did finally get it working to send some servers. But it's not follows yet. Next things I do is set it up so I can send follows. I guess one of the things I might do is see what happens when I try to follow this thing from a Mastodon account. Yeah, there's specs and everything, but I'm kind of doodling around with this to see what do the HTTP requests actually look like. I got a Mastodon account over here that I'm using for testing. I do this. I can look up the account. I did at least implement profiles. It was working. Yeah, I can at least look up the profile. There's no avatar or anything. Wondering to what follow request. My video preview is super, super tiny. Like something actually happened on my channel, but I can't see it. Someone just followed. Thank you for the follow. Been a weird setup on my couch where I've got a tiny tablet where I'm watching the video preview and things. Alright, so yeah, so I'm looking at this account. Like, what I need to do is I want to add in data request comes in. Okay. I do a follow. What comes in on this? I don't know if it must come in at the main inbox. Oh, okay. So it posts to my account. Guess I'm gonna try following and unfollowing a bunch and see what happens. Got some idea of what it should look like after having looked at the specs for ActivityPub. Of course, at the end of the day, I'm trying to interoperate with like Mastodon and things, so it boils down to what that thing actually does. I'll enlarge my little screen down here. I've got a weird setup. So I've got a tablet, an Android tablet, set up as a sound monitor to my gaming PC, and it's showing me the Twitch dashboard below my main screen. I haven't done a lot of streaming on this computer. Still kind of experimenting. Cord. I charge my phone while I'm doing this too, which means extreme close-up as I lean, fortunately. Camera, and I guess you get to the top of my head. There we go. Got a mess of wires under the couch for this PC. Doing a total pro stream. Notice which phone app happened. Alright, so noticed follow sends a request there. Do edit that bit of the server real quick and just output what comes in. So yeah, posting to the inbox. So happens I have a route for the inbox. Here it is. I've got it handling just normal messages right now, but I wanna shove some console logging in here so I can see what does a follow look like. Now, one of the cool things I've been liking about this hacking so far is I'm using Glitch. I've got things set up so that the servers automatically restart in the background. So I can just edit away, and the stuff just restarts. Even down to the server routes and the web client and all this stuff. A neat little wiki environment to play with. Guessing, yeah, there we go. So I just unfollowed. Look at a little JSON post, so you know, add some context. We've got a bunch of console logging in here. What music do we have? I might jump to some other music. Not quite paying attention to the music because I'm also watching, reversing the TV in the background. I almost kind of wish I had my stream set up to stick that in the corner of the screen, like get another thing to watch. All right. This is the JSON that gets posted on an unfollow. That's pretty much what I expect. This is an activity pub, activity stream, JSON message. This is the activity. It's an activity of undo type. Got an object of follow. That's basically just saying undo my previous action of following you. And this stuff I haven't gotten into yet. At some point I'm going to figure out how to do this document signing, because that helps with verifying stuff as you forward it. But for now, see what comes in when I follow. I follow, and now this comes in. I don't quite know the spec yet. I get the sense that this context stuff is all pointers back to the specs that define the various properties in the document. I think it's probably linked JSON or JSON linked data, but I haven't read those specs yet. I do know this stuff is pretty simple, so a follow looks like this. Main part is this. So it comes in almost kind of, so your normal toots, your statuses on Mastodon and stuff kind of follow the same format, and a follow comes in along the same channel. They all have IDs. I wonder if I can dereference it, actually. Because a lot of the things in these messages have IDs, and the IDs are URLs, and if you go to the URL, well, that's interesting. So it's a unique URL, it's a unique ID, but there's no JSON resource behind it. A lot of things in ActivityPub, I think it's suggested that everything live. It's both its ID and an address in the world that you can dereference. Alright, so I'm actually more interested at this particular moment in seeing how a follow is built so that I can send one out. I want to follow a few people from my little single user Mastodon instance here and start getting some messages in from other instances. Like, I'm kind of wondering, I might have to come up with like a test list of people who are kind of noisy on Mastodon so I can get a lot of messages, but we'll see. I also don't want to particularly bother anyone. You know what, I think I might start from a bit of the user interface first. This is one of the things I like about this little hacking rig I've got set up right now on Glitch, is you can open up, Glitch is a web-based IDE, and you can open up multiple instances of it. So in normal program projects, I tend to edit multiple files at once. I'll use editor splits for that. But on Glitch, I can open multiple browser windows and use my window manager to stack them side by side. Or I can flip to different browser tabs. So it's kind of a neat little environment. It's got a few nice keyboard shortcuts, so I can open and close the file browser and stuff like that. I guess what I want to do, above these two, maybe, well, somewhere on this page, I'm going to add a box for following. So, let's see. This is a React app. I can hop in here. This stuff is starting to get a little itchy. I may need to clean it up at some point. I spew off a lot of these kind of functional components and let them clutter up a file, and eventually I pair them off into their own files. Let's see. This one might really need to be its own class. So how about I do it over here? Yeah, that's what I did over here, because I kind of want to give it a little bit of progress, I guess. Some state. So, call this. Looking at other files I've edited because I forget instantly how to make React components. Say, give it a stupid name. It would help if I could spell even the stupid name. Okay, what do I do here? Probably like use a tool to generate that generate that boilerplate, but I never do. Right, what do I do here? I'm gonna make myself a text box, or a little text input area with a button. What do we say? I don't actually want this to submit at all, so just gonna throw that in there right now. Kind of ugly, but I might clean that up later. Just gonna copy a text field from over here. A little text field in there, and this is where I'm gonna end up typing an address to follow. What'll be more convenient at some point is if I had like a remote follow functionality so I can follow from another site. Maybe put a little follow button next to people's names, you know, a little bit more like the Mastodon interface. I actually need to do this? Maybe I don't need to do this. Actually, what I can do. You know, I don't actually need to track the state if I'm going to wait until I hit a follow button. How about I do this? Because one of the things I can do here actually do React refs work these days. I forget these things, I use them and then I forget like a day or so later. Yeah, this is what I want. Create ref. I'll probably do a little more Googling about this, but what I'm going to do is when I submit the form, I'm going to get a form data to harvest all the data from the form, which should just be one field. Got a little prevent default there. Trying to remember where else I did this. Yeah, I think I yanked that code out. At one point I was doing it in another file. So what I can do, this ref current, remember that. This form ref current. What I want is a form data object. Actually, this is what I want. I've used these before. I want the other Google result. I want to use a form data object, and when I hit the button, I'm going to use that to grab the name of someone to follow. And you can do that with... Can't you hand it? Yeah. Form data. So you can just hand it a form element, and that'll extract all the form data. Like so. And so when I submit this form, I'm going to be able to grab the address from the text field, and I'm going to use that to send a post off to the not yet existent API, which will make a follow happen. Let's It's long and convoluted, but, you know, when is web dev ever simple? And the form data is kind of a weird interface sometimes because it's got to accommodate binary data. But I really just want one thing out of this form. I don't know, this is probably overkill. But I've been meaning to use this object more, because at some point I'm going to want to have this thing accept image uploads as attachments. Yeah, form data get. So I'm trying to get comfortable with this thing. What did I call it? I didn't actually give it a name. Let's say... just call it a follow ID. And in a second I'm going to drop this into my web app and then switch back to it and see if the code works. Then I might switch over to the server and start implementing the server side of it. Let's see, Webpack should be constantly rebuilding this thing. Which it is. Let's see. Yeah, let's drop that in here, I guess. This is getting awkward here. So I've got this one div here, and it's set up in 2 columns. I don't think I want this new component to be part of those 2 columns. Let's drop that component in. Let's see if it shows up over here or if I've totally biffed it. Possible I biffed it. I think I biffed it. See what's the error. Auth failure. Oh, maybe the server's restarting. This state is null, can't access property. What? Not trying to do that in this component. Hey, thanks for the follow, Twit. Pretty late and responding to that. That was like 6 minutes ago or so. You may have already left. Alright, so... that error coming from here? Let me just reload. I might have had a few errors follow each other. Yeah, there's the error. There is an error there. Why is there an error? Follow. Oh, I didn't want to export that yet either. Auth failure. I don't think that that's... Huh. I'm confused now. Maybe it's not, in fact, my new component doing this. There it goes. Okay, so somehow it is this component causing that error. That's bizarre. Okay, so it's definitely called follow box. Let me drop that back in. Seems to be giving me an error that seems entirely unrelated. Okay, that looks like a related error. But okay, that is weird. This state is null. Huh. Oh, duh. It's because of this garbage. Okay, the line numbers were confusing me. Okay, let's try that instead. Alright, there's my ugly box. Let's add a button. Let's do that. And there's lots of errors over there, but it's because glitch saves files after like every keystroke. So while you're hacking on a thing, you're typing. It's constantly. So I don't like that spot for that. Maybe I will stick it here. Right under the outbox H2. There it goes, okay. So I'll clean this up with some good styles later. But what I want to do... Oh yeah, what I want to do now. What happens when I type... I probably don't need to type something this long in there, but there we go. Form data constructor is not an object. Oh, I also didn't do this. Never gets defined. Now, the other thing I realized I need to do is I need to reset this form. Is there a form reset function? There is, in fact, a form reset. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the form data, and then I'm going to say, I grab the form data and then reset the form. Because I guess one of the things I want to do, close that debug log. One of the things I want to do, just have the form reset itself after I've submitted the data. The dev tools keep stealing my keyboard focus. Okay. EL. Yeah, so what I can do is form EL reset. So now what should happen? After it has a chance to rebuild, I should be able to type in there. Yeah, alright, that's what I wanted to have happen. I guess I could wait to set the form until after it's actually submitted. Maybe I will do that. At least I know how to do that. Next thing I'm going to do, actually submit it to the server. Now I'm kind of trying to follow the client to server spec for ActivityPub, which Mastodon does not. Let me see if I have this defined like I think I do. I've been trying to make some little functions to make it easier to create ActivityPub and ActivityStream objects. Do I have that? I don't have that imported here. So, import that. I do a lot of copy and paste because I forget what things look like, and then I do a lot of deleting. There we go. So I got an activity follow. We're going to give it some properties. Now, look at my logs again, because I'm trying to remember exactly what constitutes a follow. I know I was just talking about it 5 minutes ago. Oh, there's been so many rebuilds. I think my data is like long in the past. Oh well. Let's try sending a few requests again. So there's an unfollow. And there's another follow. Okay. These are the things that I want. I want to give it an ID. I guess I could do that on the server side. Like, I think I will do that on the server side. So let's leave the ID out. I already have the type coming in. The actor is me. A lot of this is actually in common with this other component I've been cribbing off of. This component is what submits but it submits a status. It submits a note. So yeah. There's a logged in user. Cats are going crazy. There we go. Okay. So the same thing I do over here. And this could be, I could totally change my mind on how all this should work, but we'll see about it. So the actor ID is current user. It's who is performing the action. And the object is going to be who I want to follow. And so that's going to be, well, hello there, kitty. You going to come on the stream? Or are you just passing through? Hello, kitty. Guest star kitty on the stream. Alright, so I think this is going to be my form data get follow ID. I'm just going to just stick that straight in there. I'm not doing any kind of validation there. I guess that can come later. So then, I copy some of this. So I'm going to submit this to the server. And I guess I don't need a different API for this. I'll just process it on the server. Hey GamerZeb, thanks for the fireworks. Thanks for coming and hanging. Kind of a subdued stream tonight. I may have long stretches of silence as I watch TV. But what I'm trying to do here is add following activities. I imagine at some point I could probably like refactor some of this into common components that submit, because it's going to look very similar to the one that submits a status. I'm adding like a progress indicator here for submitting, but the server is like super fast right now, so these things hardly ever actually light up. It's pretty cool that I'm doing it all in Glitch. Yeah, so I've been pretty happy with Glitch so far. I'm hoping to get to the point where I can kind of have it packaged up a bit so that you can swing into Glitch and just clone or fork or remix my project, have your own little ActivityPub server. It's been a pretty nice environment. I was worried I'd hate working in the browser so much, but it's actually been kind of a pleasant experience. Yeah, some checking the status. I just added the submitting flag. I know what F's I wanted to add. I made this little here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So just kind of I'm doing a little web request here. So I don't even need these console logs right now. I can watch on the server side. Hey, thanks for the follow, Lemon Android. Alright. It's kind of a uniform interface here. All of this is just creating activities and submitting them to the outbox. Same thing with statuses. Construct the activity, submit it to an outbox. So what I'm going to have to do on the server side is look for activity type follow and do the right thing for dispatching it. Yeah, and so what I think dispatching it means is I look up the object, or deliver it. I look up the object. Actually, you know, there's an answer for this in the spec, which I've been trying to follow, and I know isn't the exact same thing as what Mastodon does. Let's see, follow activity. How do I deliver that? Follow activity. Side effect of receiving a follow in an outbox is that the server should add the object the actor's following collection when and only if an accept activity is received. Okay. Should. So what this is saying is I'm gonna send this off to another server and ideally wait for an accept to come in. Ever fancy Control Shift F full project search? I think they do have something like that. Or at least they have Control semicolon. You can do this kind of thing. So you can, I don't know if you can actually search like, yeah, I don't know what editor has that. Yeah, I think it's just searching file names. Not actually like searching the whole files. Yeah, no full text search. It is nice to use the semicolon thing though, because you can collapse the side panel. Oh yes, in the forum. I guess I'm used to Vim, which I think there are some add-ons that'll do that for you, but I don't usually use them. A lot of times I just kind of escape out to the shell and do like a find. But I've been doing that for so long, it's probably not at all the most friendly way. I actually should play with Cloud9 more too. Yeah, like you can do a find. You can do a find and grep, like Of course, I'm going to typo this now that I'm actually trying to do it. Do this kind of thing multiple times a day. Have it like in an alias on another machine. So I do that kind of thing multiple times a day. I suppose it would be better if my editor supported that. Yeah, I mean, this glitch thing kind of felt like a toy when I first started using it. I really should play with Cloud9 some. I played with it years ago, but I'm pretty sure they've had a lot of improvement. Of course, the nice thing with glitch is it's nice. Also use glitch for some front-end development. That's cool. Yeah, I kind of poked around at glitch for like off and on for months, but like just hello worlds and things. We do Ruby? Nah, I've not done much Ruby. Kind of jumped from Python to like almost all code now. Although I think I'm starting to do. I'll probably start to get myself into more Ruby if I dig under the hood in Mastodon because it's a Rails app. Not a necessity. Yeah, Mastodon's all Ruby, but so far I've been able to avoid too much actual Mastodon hacking. Like I run an instance as a Docker container, and this thing I'm working on now that talks to Mastodon servers is itself all Node. Yeah, so the next place I'm going to go to in this project is the thing that handles when I'm submitting from here. So yeah, this is all just Node server stuff. How about a Ruby dialect that has Python-style indent syntax? I have not heard of such a thing. That actually annoyed me when I first used Python. Then I came to like it. So that's what I'm looking for. I need to handle this follow event instead of a create event. Let's say start differentiating processing a bit based on type, because all of this so far is assumed it's only going to receive creates. It does not exist yet, I believe. Oh, okay. I'm on the same file in two windows. This is neat though. The like multiplayer aspect of this. If you have two windows open, you can see what someone else is highlighting. I think you can bring people in for collaboration. That's not what I want. I want index. Yeah, there we go. Back to that file. That's not where I want to be. I want to be in this file. Eventually, I might turn this into a dispatch table or a switch statement. Typos galore. My music stop. Oh, my music has been on one song for 34 minutes. Sorry about that. Mention to the player. The mic in the back. I do like to have the music play on the stream. Alright, so activity type follow. Gonna log it for now. kinda wish I could open the logs in a separate window. Because to get to the logs, the hotkey doesn't seem to work. You have to open the sidebar, click the button. Occasionally I seem to jam everything up. Log really seems to be resource intensive whenever you open it. Yeah, who knows, maybe by the end of the month and working on this I may switch to Cloud 9 or something out of frustration. It's been pretty enjoyable to use this to develop it though. Oh, come on, what are you doing? I feel like I've frozen this tab up. I could unstick it. Every now and then I'll do something that makes the server just kinda get into a restart loop or something and it just jams up the log and then the whole tab goes unresponsive. Doesn't happen very often, but it happens often enough to be a little annoying. Alright, let's try that again. Logs, please. Thank you. You know what, actually I don't even want logs in this window. Put them over in this one. No, I don't need that. I also found that while I'm streaming it eats up quite a lot of my CPU, which is annoying. Probably need a better computer. Clear those. This is all I want to do. Post the follow, what happens? Auth user is not a function. It's not what I expected to have happen. Oh, I know what's happening. I am not passing the props. Yeah, okay. So one of the things I have in here is when you log into the application, this session has your full ActivityPub actor record in it, so I can access things like your activity stream ID, which is basically your address in the Fediverse. Alright, so the post worked. This doesn't look right. So it looks like I did not actually construct this follow object quite right. Excuse me. So what is it then? Because I thought... Let me do this real quick. Go. What was that error that just rolled by? Ah, you had to clear the log. There's a little warning that rolled by about an import not being available. Maybe it's just temporary. Anyway. Oh, what does the activity... Okay, this is not right. Why is it an array? Shouldn't be an array. What is form data giving me? Form data was going to be a string. Doing something stupid, aren't I? A UV string? I'm running a string, JSON stringify in here, so it's probably serializing something that's not quite a string. Does this exist? We'll see about that soon enough. Blah, blah, blah. That better? That's not better. There should be a string. Okay. I wonder if I'm doing something screwy. And activity follow. Object, emit context object. Oh, I see what I'm doing here. Jump that out for now. In my little data construction helper tools, I'm assuming that this string is actually an object, which it is in fact not. I think I'm gonna have to play with some more. Okay. I'm probably outsmarting myself here by trying to make these little utilities. Oh well. Okay. Let's get back to it. Where am I at? I'm in delivery. Okay. Follow ID undefined. Okay, yeah, because I'm going to define that on the server side. Looks like I've been streaming for 52 minutes. May go offline at an hour. Just kind of wanted to fire up the video for a bit and see what happened. Some night I need to start this a lot earlier and maybe stay on for most of the night. Oh yeah. Server side. Want to give it an ID. Do I do that? Do that in my route? I think I do that in my route. I do that in my route. Okay. Should probably do that in delivery, but oh well. Alright, actually I'm gonna grab this real quick. Oh, I think I see. I'm assuming this is a create activity. So this is what I should do. Activity incoming. Okay, I need to rework this a little bit. So if not activity incoming, I have here is, this is in the spec. If you just post an object to this thing, it's implied that it should be wrapped in a create activity. I'm reworking my logic a little bit here. And I'm enforcing on the server that it supplies the ID. Yeah, let's do this. This is a little closer, I think, to the spec. Probably get my mouse out of the way. And I just have a little helper here that checks to see if the incoming object looks like an activity, which I think right now I just look to see if it has an actor. Though now that I think about that, that's kind of weird. This is activity right now. Oh, no. It's just looking to see if it has an object. So activities are activity stream objects that have an object property. Yeah, alright. It's like, I'll leave a comment here for myself. Yeah, okay. And I guess... Yeah, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. It's weird, so in one case you have an activity with an object in it, in another case you just have the object and you're gonna create the activity. And I guess for create type, I'm gonna enforce the server create, the first server generated ID. At some point I'm gonna wanna support an update activity where the user will have to supply an ID for what they want to edit, but I'm not doing that yet. Okay. Yeah, this is getting a little unresponsive. There we go. Some more comments for myself, cleaning the stuff up a little bit. Yes, I'm just trying to like make space for the follow activity, which doesn't need all the same things as a note. Okay. Cool. So this is what our follow activity looks like now. And what's interesting about follow is it does have an object, but the object isn't local. So actually, a better example would be like, yeah. So this is a URL, which is the address to an object. If I were to go there, I would see data. But actually, since my browser is asking for HTML, I don't see data, I see HTML. But I put JSON at the end, that kind of forces the app to do it. So this URL is actually an address pointing at this data across the network. So this follow action is saying, or this follow activity is saying, follow I on this site, here's my address. I want to follow this address, and if you follow that URL, you get all the details about the person I want to follow, including their inbox, because I'm going to send this follow activity to them. And what I should get back is an accept from them. So, let's see about that. I am not currently delivering that follow activity. Oh, I should enhance this to handle follow. Okay, so how much of this? I don't think I need to look at all that for right now. So, yeah, so I've got a queuing system here that I throw these things into. My inbox here, just one inbox. And the inbox is activity object. You know, this is dragging me down. While the log is open, consuming resources at every keystroke. And let's do this. I think this might be all I needed to do. Okay. This seems too good to be true, but it's a pretty generic interface, so it could be I've implemented enough of it to handle this. If I manage to get an accept response, I'll know something good has happened. I don't have it in my clipboard anymore. But it is my autofill, so that's cool. Alright, send up the follow. I don't think it went out. Did it not go out? What's the activity type? The activity type is follow. Alright, let's look at this a little more closely. Activity type. Body. I think this is how this is supposed to work. Is I send the follow activity out to their inbox. And then they send me back a response. I'm not seeing that. This is my first time trying this too, to send off a follow. Okay, so I send a follow. Maybe I don't get anything from them. Actually, I wonder, I don't know. What if I get a tweet delivered while I'm following? I will not. Okay. Or actually I will. Okay. I think, let's see. So if I'm following, I'm a part of Tester's followers. Maybe I'll get a message pushed my way. No, the follow didn't work. Still playing with that. The activity looks right. inbox looks right. It just doesn't seem like it's actually getting delivered. Let's see about that. I am annoyed at the sometimes at the like constant reloading on every keystroke. I've been working to tweak that a little bit. Do that. Let's try that again. I think this is the right address. Send to remote user. Okay. You know what I'm not seeing? A yeah, let's do this. This will slow some things down, but that's alright. I'm not actually seeing what the result of my actions are here, so... So the result was, oh, 422 unprocessable entity. Oh, okay, well, why? Looks like the right kind of object to me. Did I use the right, I thought I used the right content type and header and all that garbage. Actor object type follow ID. Yeah, this is where I might have to start poking around at my own Mastodon instance just to see what it's seeing on its side. But it's starting to get a little late. I just wanted to pop in for a quick hour or so and see who might have showed up and say I had streamed. I'm hoping to stream more frequently in the coming week or so. I took kind of a week off, but hopefully I'll do some more of this. Maybe I'll do some more full streams like this. Hopefully I'll have more of a ActivityPub thing working the coming week. But for now, I think I'm going to sign off on this brief stream, and hopefully you'll see me back soon. Thanks for coming by, thanks for the follows, thanks for watching. Have a good one.